to Hellas Verona. We are ending season 1 here with the end of season awards, and we're going to do the transfer window for the summer leading into season 2, where we are still going to be a Serie A club. Somehow, if you haven't seen how we survived, I would highly recommend you go back and watch the last episode, because tactical genius right here. We got lucky. I'm just going to say we were very, very lucky to survive. So the awards, for some reason there's no can't have a best 11 because it's the first season, obviously. I remember now. So the fans player of the season was Miguel Veloso. 62%. The man was an absolute beast this season. He was fantastic. I'm glad I gave him a new contract for next season. I think he is going to be a very vital part of this club for next season. He is, however, 34. Physicals are dropping, but he is getting better technically and mentally, which is kind of what you want to see. Joint top goal scorer, which is not great for a deep lying playmaker on defend as your DM. You know, you want your striker scoring goals, but we didn't have that this year. Romani and Pessina finishing second and third. We're going to jump over the goal of the season for the time being. Signing of the season was Torari. To be fair, he came into this club and he was fantastic. The 18-year-old, still 18, this man, he just came in and he was a beast. I'm so happy we signed him. I know he conceded 17 goals, 2 clean sheets. He saved a penalty on the final day. What more do I need to say? Young player of the season was Pessina, who will be going back to Atalanta at the end of... We do have an optional future fee. We don't have the money to buy him. Maybe we try and keep him here on loan. Vere got goal of the season, which, if I'm honest, we haven't really scored many good goals this year, so I'm interested to see what the goal is. I think was this his volley that he scored. This was in an episode, if I am not... Yeah, it was, because Barini is playing on their left wing. Came off the bench. He ran from our half. So it wasn't a volley. Okay, so he ran from our half and top ins. Yeah, it's pretty good. Shows kind of how poor we were this year, though. Team of the season had Radnovic in goal. To be fair, he played a lot of games. He played quite a number of games. Romani and Kumbula basically were our back two partnership when we decided to go for 2 centre backs. We did start the season with 3. Didn't really work out for us. Ajapong and DeMarco as the wing backs, with Veloso as the DM. To be fair, I think Amrapt played there 4 times. Other than that, Veloso played as the DM every single game. Amrapt and Pessina as our central midfielders. Zakagani as the attacking midfielder, with Pazzini and Stepinski as our strike force. To be fair, Pazzini and Stepinski were the top goal scorers, but as you can see, Miguel Veloso, Pazzini, Stepinski and Pessina all scored 4 goals this season. That is just terrible. Terrible when your top goal scorers for the season have 4 and 2 of them are strikers. Only 2 strikers scored more than 3 goals this season. Actually probably scored more than 1 goal this season. Matteo Pessina only scored 2 of his goals in the final 2 games. So, you know, when you've got a player playing every game and then scoring twice in the final 2 games and still manages to become your joint top goal scorer, it's not great. Miguel Veloso with a 7.16. That's actually not that bad of an average rating, it has to be said. Ajapong had the most assists with 6. We really weren't that great. Pass completions, 90% for Amrap. 90%. I would have expected Veloso's to be the highest, but obviously he misplaced many footballs. Most player of the matches, Veloso and Romani had 2 each. Definitely, I think this shows everything here to this point. Shows we did not have a good season. Most yellow cards, Veloso with 13, and the naughty boys, DeMarco, Ajapong, Vigant and Lewis Baker. Lewis Baker only played 13 games for us. Played 13 games and got sent off. Picked up 4 yellow cards. This man, kinda like his commitment. Don't think we're going to bring him back for next season. He is a very expensive luxury player to have that we didn't really use too much. Season review, we were relegation certainties and although, or heading into the season, although that was the case, would be delighted to finish with their heads above water. Just. Season started badly, sinking to 18th by November, then produced when it mattered. To be fair, we had a decent mid point of the season, and then we fell again. Like, at one point we were 13th place in the league. Ooh, the heavy height to 13th. Did finish 17th, and then we got knocked out of the Coppa Italia quite early on. Juve Stabia, who, did they survive? They did not. Did they? Is 18? No. They got relegated. So we got knocked out by a team who got relegated. That's what you want. That is exactly what you want to see. Match of the season was a 3-2 win against Sassuolo. Moment to forget was the 8-1 defeat, the second last game of the season, against Lazio. Didn't even have our stadium half full, which is not great. But they are the club is happy. We remained in Serie A 4 years ahead of schedule. Fair enough. For next season, they want us to play counter-attacking football. We're not really going to do. They have gotten rid of the signed players from lower divisions because we didn't really do it. I tried. There's not a whole lot in Serie B and Serie C that is worth looking at for Serie A clubs. Sign young players to develop a profit. That's what we're trying to do. Work within the wage budget, which is what we're attempting to do anyway. They want us to avoid relegation. Okay. So we have to actually avoid, physically, like properly avoid. If we get relegated next season, we're in trouble. And from then on, just continue to be a Serie A club. I hope by like maybe this season mid-table would be nice, and the next season try and push on for Europe. Maybe that's a little bit much with the club we have or the team we have, but we shall see. Dressing room atmosphere is terrible. I wonder why. We survived. We haven't had the end of season team talk yet, but nobody hates me, which is the most important thing. Interesting. We do have a lot of players who are going to be leaving as well, so maybe that'll fix it, because a lot of players here on loan are going to be gone in the not too distant future. Not get relegated next season would be our likely target. Yeah, a lot of hard work, stay in the division, and I know we got what it takes. Yeah, perfect, lads. That is what you want to see. I'm going to have probably a big clear out. Who missed most of the season was I don't know who you are. Ramkilde, I think we're going to get rid of him if at all possible. He's picked up a lot of injuries, did not score a single goal, and has a little bit of value. Let's see what we can get from, maybe send him out on loan. Ferroni had the most injuries of the first team. Don't really care about anyone else. Longest injuries, 3 months. That's not too bad. End of season break, we are gone until the 20th of July. The lads get a very nice season or break. We're going to go to, might as well go to Austria. Fly. Would you fly to Austria from Italy? I suppose you would. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Don't care about that. Milinkovic Savic wins Player of the Year for Serie A. 18 goals. Average rating of 7. Yeah, fair enough. You know. Manager of the Year. Am I listed? Oh, I am listed. Not going to get it though. Sorry. 81% win ratio. Wow. I don't expect us to win it. So I am going to vote for Simone Inzaghi. Inzaghi can have my vote. And the Serie A Manager of the Year, we're in the running for this. How were we in the running for this? We were terrible this year. Inzaghi is in this one as well, so might as well vote for Simone Inzaghi. He was a striker I liked when I was younger, so why not? Anyone who knows me knows my favourite players were generally left backs, because I wanted to be a left back when I grew up, and he wasn't the most prolific striker, but I liked him growing up. I know his brother Filippo was the one that everyone went, oh, he's a great striker, but Simone Inzaghi, I liked him, not gonna lie. So that is the update on end of season awards and all that good stuff. We are probably going to have a look at the Brescia, Genoa and Lecce team and see what we have, what they have. They're trying to get me to sign Tonali. I don't know if they know, but Tonali is very expensive. Don't say too loud. But Tonali, like, to sign Tonali, we need like 36 million. We currently have 423,000. So I don't think that's going to happen. But we will arrive at the first game of the season for the second part of this episode, and we'll have a little look through the players we assigned. We do have some players already on their way in. We've made an offer for a young Bulgarian. Yeah, he's a Bulgarian centre back. Just because why not? Youth players, let's get them in. Signed a bunch of random young players, and a couple of old players like Yaya Toure. That's the player I was talking about in the last episode. We're bringing in Toure. We're also bringing in Monticello, who was on loan at Serie B. He didn't have a great season. It's only he scored after we signed him. But we do have Keke Seviero, who is an Ecuadorian Spanish Italian born in Genoa. He's coming in for next season. We're going to potentially move to having wingers at some point, or even play him as a striker. Ew, interesting. But I'm going to see what transfer budget we get. We do have Pavel going off to the Euros. Yeah, the Euros this summer with Poland. Stupinski was supposed to go as well, but he hasn't, I guess. He didn't make the final team. But all of that being said, have we got a new budget? We haven't gotten it yet. So we will be back in just a second for you. It's going to be a little bit longer for me because I have to go actually play all these games. Or all these... I have to hit spacebar a lot. So we will be back in just a second for that. So don't go anywhere. And see what we've brought with us into the next season. So sit tight. Back just... Right, fellas. It has been a day or so since I recorded the last part of this episode. We've gone through the transfer window. We still have about a week left, and we've been a busy team. We have been so very busy. As you can see, Juventus lost their first game of the season against Fiorentina. So interesting way to start the season already. Udinese also lost to Napoli, but like I said, we have been quite busy. We'll have a quick look at the season preview. They expect us to finish 18th. Still expect us to finish bottom, or in the bottom three. I don't know what Benevento have been doing, but they've obviously done enough to make it so that they're slightly better than we are. I don't think so though. I'm not so sure. We're not going to go through all the transfers because there has been so very many. Actually, is there a way I can... There should be a way. Transfer window. Oh yeah. Verona, 25 players in, 37 out. So, like I said, it's been busy. We have a week and 1 day before the transfer window closes. Michy Batshuayi has gone to AC Milan as their biggest signing. Alfred Duncan has gone to Fiorentina. There's been some interesting ones like Fernandinho going to Juventus. Hakimi's gone to Lazio. Other than that, there isn't a whole lot of interesting ones. Is there anyone interesting after leaving a club? Barella left Cagliari to go to Inter. Veretout has gone from Fiorentina to Roma. Icardi, as everyone knows, leaving for PSG. Emre Can's gone to Borussia Dortmund. Other than that, there's nothing really interesting. We sold Barini, as you can see here. Surprise! We sold Barini. Bunch of players here that are just after being loaned out. We're trying to bring in Sidney Lobo as the new assistant manager because our current assistant manager is terrible. And everyone knows how much I love Sidney Lobo, so he's my favourite assistant manager. We're going to have a quick look at like I said, just the players that have come in and the ones that have left. So the most high profile player to leave is Barini, gone to Brighton for 4.2 million, rejected Swansea, which interesting for him. He has actually started off his career in the Championship not too badly. 5 starts, 1 goal. He did play for Swansea, didn't he? Or am I... Fabio Brini played for Swansea. No? He did. Here. Back in 2010-11. That was a long time ago. I thought it was more recent than that. Davide Farioni has gone to Brescia for 4 million. The Crescenzi was already done. Di Carmine left for Lecce for £1 million. Did have an offer from Pordenone, who are in Serie A this season. He rejected them, so we made a huge loss on him, but he's gone. That's the main thing. Sold a whole bunch of random shitters that I didn't want. Ramkilde has left as well for 11,000. Just wasn't really. Wasn't my best bit of signing, but we bought him for nothing, sold him for money. That's the main thing. A huge amount of players have left on loan, which a lot of players. Antonio Di Giordino, he was a recently turned 31-year-old winger. Really didn't want him in the club. Nobody wanted to sign him, but he's gone. So that is the main thing. Players that have come in, on the other hand, Matteo Pessina is now valued more than what we paid for him. We had an agreement to sign him for 4.2 million if we so chose. We so chose. Amrabat's come in for 2.6 million, which is quite nice because now valued at 4 million. See how he gets on. Monticello is a player that my director of football agreed to sign, and it slipped past me. Badu came in. Again, another one that was done before I arrived. Contreras is a Venezuelan who's gone on loan to Spain, and it says he was there last year. He's not been there last year. Okay, well he's going to be there I think he's there for 2 years. Yeah, we're trying to get him Spanish nationality. Uros Knevic has come in from Partizan Belgrade. Yeah, Partizan Belgrade's B team. This guy looks fruity. Oh my god, this guy looks like he could be an amazing player. Doesn't want to leave on loan, which frustrating. So he's going to be sitting in the team waiting for January when we should be able to sign him. Farasi just came in. He's already leaving for less. He's not been here that long, and he's already leaving. My head of youth development and my director of football I've been leaving them at their own devices a little bit. So they've been bringing in random players like Scabari, who is a young striker, played for Napoli. Played is a bit of a stretch. He was a Napoli player. He's been brought in, as has Koshoya from Almere City. Ruven Wertmüller has been signed. Fidel O'Rourke got signed. Thomas Linkov. These are all potential players that are going to get games. Juan Hernandez has come in. He's quite good. He was in the Celta Vigo team last season. He was on loan at Cadiz the year before. This guy has been quite good for the Celta Vigo B team. Comes in as one of our better players, so we'll see how he gets on. Castrari was released by Hertha, so we took him on as a full-time player and then loaned him out to Piacenza, because he didn't get too many games last year, but he's not looking for an awful lot of money. Piacenza are paying a good portion of his wages, so I'm happy enough to take him. We also signed Kieran O'Hara and Connor Stanley from Manchester United, Alfie Matthews from Arsenal, who's gone out on loan to Vicenza, already getting game time, which is fantastic. His attributes are increasing. Then we also signed Brahima Otara, who we've also sent out on loan to Spain. I was hoping that this would be 2 years. It is not. So he's gone out to Oviedo. See how he gets on. Signed a right winger from Inter Milan. You're probably looking at this and thinking, okay, well, we kind of see what your tactic for this year looks like it could potentially be. This guy, young Belgian, never played a game of football. 5-star potential, so why not? Emeka Obi came from my team, Wigan. He's in the team. Yaya Toure signed from Cardiff. He's physically terrible, so very bad, and he's got terrible work rate, which is just decreasing. I feel like this was a mistake, but we shall see. Played 9 games in the Championship last year. Gets forward whenever possible. Can't really do anything else. So we're training him to be a deep playing playmaker on defend or in the DM position. Just see if he can do anything when he is called upon. Kike Saviero is an Ecuadorian. I think I showed you him already. Ecuadorian, Spanish, Italian winger who has decent attributes. Was a 5-star potential player. Now only a 4-star potential player. Mauricio Toni is a Croatian, Argentinian centre back who's spent his entire career in Argentina. Giving him an opportunity, he's going to come into the team and see what he can do. We also signed Ramzani from Manchester United as well, on loan last season at Rochdale. I think he's training. Yeah, he's going to be an inside forward on the left is what we're training him to do. And Kyle Edwards, as you know, we signed him. He's also gone out on loan as well. We've had an absolute busy time. We've made 12.5 million, spent 8.75. Don't think we've any transfer debt. We still have money left over. They gave us 4 million, and as you can see, we have 4 million left over. Our wage budget has significantly dropped as well. We've cut a bunch of players, debts and loans. So yeah, are we owed 99,000 or do we owe 99,000? With no clauses to sell. Interesting. Yeah, we've had a bit of an interesting time. We also released a huge amount of players. Darko Lazovic, as you might remember, was a guy we were going to play as our left back last season. I sent him out on loan hoping that it would free up a non-EU slot. Not at the start of the season, but it does free it up at the end of the season, or in January. We offered him out, nobody wanted him, and he said, I'll leave for, I think it was 1.7 million, so we lost a bunch of money, then released a bunch of players over a couple of days, because they just weren't really good enough. And then Emperor is playing for Barry. Finally got himself a new club, and he's played once already. Yves Bayatono, never going to play a game of football again in his life, I would imagine. Yeah, it's been an interesting summer. We also kept some of our players that we had last season on loan. DeMarco is still here. Played 16 games last season. He's just been brought in. I think he's free. Yeah, no, we don't have to pay any of his wages. I said, why not? Same with Eddie Salcedo. Hopefully he can score more than one goal and get more than one assist. That would be ideal. He's not necessarily going to be a first choice striker this season. And we brought Radnovic back as well. We're paying his wages, but he's a handy goalkeeper to have as a backup. Tarati, potentially still my first choice. It's going to be between him and Kieran O'Hara, who also, my dad, made his international debut. I think it was just before the Euros, or might have been at the Euros. Did he make his debut at the Euros? He did not. It was the friendly against... Did he play against Azerbaijan? He did not. Did he play against Luxembourg? He did. He played against Luxembourg. So, I actually don't know who won the Euros. I wasn't keeping track of it. The winners of the most recent Euros were Spain. Beating France in the final semi-finals. England knocked out by France. Denmark made it to the semis. Portugal and Germany got knocked out by England. To be fair. Spain made it to the quarters. What happened in the second round? Iceland, Greece, Poland. Pavel was playing for them. Didn't work out for him. Scotland, Belgium knocked out by Wales. Ooh. Interesting. I'm guessing Ireland didn't do all that well. Croatia got knocked out. Turkey and Sweden got knocked out of their group. Ireland finished bottom, beating Poland, who qualified. That you'd be very disappointed if you were the Ireland team to get knocked out. When it was Spain gave Poland and Austria the bye in that round, or in that group, and Belarus, unfortunately for them, they got knocked out of their group. This episode's going up on Friday, so Monday's episode will be against Parma and Cagliari. We're going to do both those and see how we get on at the start of the season. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be difficult, I would imagine. Parma expected to finish 15th. Cagliari expected to finish 10th. It's an easier start than we had last year when we played Inter Milan. And who else did we play at the start of the season? We played Inter and we played Cagliari last year as well. Didn't work out all that well. This season we have had pretty decent run in. We played Spezia in the Coppa Italia third qualifying round. Beat them 2-0. Luka Zahovic got himself a cheeky little brace. Can't complain about that. And this is what we're going to be using. It is what you'd expect, really. We're playing a 4-1-2-3 with wide players. Saviero. It's Saviero or Tupta. We'll find out which one plays against them. At the moment, Tupta. Henderson, our Scottish central midfielder, who was on loan last season and Empoli broke his ankle. He is, after coming back, and he is going straight into the team. There's a couple of players in this starting 11 that you won't recognise, who also weren't mentioned in the signings, because Almichi was on loan last year with the team that got promoted, Paradone, so he's coming in. He's their backup right back, but Weigand is injured for 2 months with a torn hamstring. Balkovic was on loan last season with Empoli as well. He's coming in to be one of our potential left backs. And Tupta was on loan in Poland at Wisla Krakow. He's coming in. We're going to teaching him to be a left winger. I want to see how he gets on. Anyone else who... Dejan Boulder, ex-Roma player, was on loan last season at Partizani in Albania. He is coming in to be just a bench player, really. Anyone else I have brought up from the lower reach? We have about 40, I think it's about 40 players in the first team at the minute. Not all of them are going to stay there. I've just been trying to decide what we're going to do with them. Like Zingtas, potentially going out on loan. We're trying to get him to go out on loan. Not really interested in being loaned to anybody, which is frustrating. And Stepinski we're trying to get rid of because he wasn't great last year, and I think we could do without his wages. It's saying Eddie Salcedo, Zahovic and Pazzi and Tupta are all just as good. And we have 5 strikers who are currently 3-star. I think we could do without Stepinski. He originally gave him no number, decided to just give him the number 99. In case he stays, just give him a cheeky number because he wants to be number 9. Make him number 99. It's all good. So that is where we're going to leave today's episode. But as I said, next episode will be Parma and Cagliari. Potential for some transfers to be going on in between those games, because there is, as I said, a week left in the transfer window. We have a little bit of money to spend. Don't really want to be adding extra players to that. Team cohesion isn't terrible for the amount of signings we've made, but we've also taken Pazzini away from the captaincy and given it to Kumbula to try and get him to stay, because he has had quite a significant amount of interest in him, and I'd like to keep our wonder kid at the club. So all of that being said, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe, share with all of your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.